whole scheme of things of them trying to make things nicer and cooler and shit, it's made it a lot more annoying and unusable. Howdy, Beef Lombard here, and welcome. 30 seconds wasted for the thing to boot up. Yes, I'm going to keep complaining about it every single solitary time, because I'm old and I can do that. Alright, so we're going to add some music, and some other sound, as needed. But here's the thing. You can add WAV files, which will be awesome, and, with that, you're going to have to process the amount of file size you need for putting in and converting MP3s over to WAV files. And yeah, the majority of what you're going to use is WAV files anyway for sound effects and that kind of stuff. But it'd kind of be nice to be able to run a MP3 and later on maybe evolve this into a playlist that's editable. But for now, just want to add some sound coming from this radio sitting here in the middle of this room. Alright, so the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to your actual content folder of your project in your file browser. And you're going to need to create a folder called Movies. You're going to have to do this manually. You can't do this in your content down here. It's not going to show up. It shouldn't show up, however it is. But things that you put in here will not show up. Because, as you can see, I actually have files in here. These are all MP3s. These are all from Technoax. So these are royalty-free music. So, with that being said, I'm trying to rearrange things here. What we're going to need to do is create a file media source for them. So what we can do here is, well, we're not going to work in this folder at all. I've gone to my assets folder, audio, and I'm going to create another new folder in here called my FMS, or file media source. So this is where actually we will see the files, the music. So you right click, and we're wanting to go to media, file media source. And we can rename it here in just a minute. We open it up and check our file path. And Mysterious Cat. We'll do this one. And open. So that's good. And we'll save that. And we'll go ahead and rename that. Kind of helps to know which one you're doing first. You can have your file browser open so you can see which one's which. Mysterious Cat. Now, if you were to go into it, you really can't do much with it. So the other thing we're going to need is a media player. So let's go ahead and right click on this, and we'll go ahead and put it in this folder, and we'll work out of this one. Go back to media player, video output. We're not going to need that for audio. And I'm just going to call this we'll call this music. There's our player. And our song here, there's nothing in there. So if we double click it, no video track available because we don't have one. So that's good. Sorry, once that song gets stuck in my head, I have to keep playing it over and over again. So I'm going to open this up, and that way I can see the name of the files that I'm actually adding in here. And we did the Mysterious Cat. Let's go ahead and do another file media source. And this will be Bad Cat. Open that one up. And I'm only going to do one more for right now. Let's see here. Well, we'll just do in order of how they are in there. So, again, media, file media source. This is going to be coming home. All right, so now if we go in here, let's do a quick save all. Music player. Now you can see we've got all three of them here. I like this one too. Alright, so we got to get it to work with this object here. Why in the hell does this keep blinking? That's annoying as crap. So we want to be able to come in here and hear the music, but we also want a sound attenuation applied to it so that if we're back here, we don't hear it, and the closer we get to it, the louder it gets. So we're going to have a sound attenuation as well. So I'm going to go back to my audio folder and create a new folder called attenuations. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and put inside there wow. Brain just shut down for a minute. Sound attenuation. And we'll call this our radio ATT for attenuation. And for right now, I'm going to leave this the way it is and not change anything just yet. Show the importance of that later. So, with our sound attenuation created, our media player, which is our music player, and a couple songs put in there. I already had another radio prepared in another project. I'm kind of cheating upon that. So, yeah, I guess I could do it the same way. Go into our gadgets, and we'll do a blueprint, actor, stereo system blueprint. Now we can add the radio in and have all that, so we can always just drop this down anywhere as that radio, or we can just leave it with no model whatsoever in it and just place this, and anywhere we place this, we're going to get our music. And from there, we just need a media sound component. And let's go ahead and compile and save. We don't really need anything in here. But with the media sound, we need our media player, which is music player. Attenuation settings. We're going to use our radio attenuation. Now, there are going to be a few more things that we're going to have to accomplish. But let's go ahead and just take this and drop it right here on the table. You can see the attenuation radius. But we hear no music. It aren't doing anything. So we need to actually create something for it to start doing. We needed to start playing something. And with that, let's see if we can add that in here. We don't have a playlist yet. Let's create a playlist. Audio. Sound. No, we want media. Media playlist. Radio playlist. Alright, so we've got the 3 songs here. And let's go ahead and add elements. Mysterious Cat. Let's add another one and another one. and Coming Home, and Battle Cat. So that's all we've done. Just added 3 of them to the playlist. Let's see here. I think I actually did this before in the map itself. So I need to refresh my brain here a little bit. So whenever I'm doing this, what we're trying to do is we want to call this playlist, and then from that playlist, we want to tell it to begin playing that playlist. So we're going to operate from the media playlist there. And sorry, I'm running a buttload of stuff at one time here. And multiple copies of Unreal Engine 4 at the same time. So it's always a waiting game for something to load, and you know, I'm trying to remember if I actually put it in the map, if I actually put it on the actual radio. All right, now it's got to compile shaders. Let's see here. That was for the videos, because I also have a working television that I put into one of my scenes, and with that, what I did was I created a one of the models, and I added a plane to it and applied a media texture to it, and it allowed me to actually put that in there. So we've got our, well, even on another one, I did a widget, so that whenever we actually were in the area of the actual thing, we could actually hit a key and it would bring up a menu, and we were able to run controls of the radio itself. And let's see if I can actually pull that up. Pull this project up here. See, actually, it was just a cheesy little thing here, but it actually had play music, next, previous, pause, and play. And inside there, what I'd done was I added the media player reference inside here, and open playlist, Ventic clear widget. I don't know why I did that. But open playlist, and then the actual playlist. So we'll start off with doing that. See if we can, instead of it being a click event, we want this to run off of begin play. So actually, I think I ended up creating yeah, I did. I created a new variable, which was my media player, and then came up here and typed in media player object reference, compile and save, and pull up the media player there for our music player. So we've got our media sound component, and that's what's going to tell us that. Let's actually drag this in here also. And open playlist. And our radio playlist. And play. Connect that into there. So we'll get it to just open it if we don't play it. Alright, so there's no attenuation to it whatsoever. So we'll fix that in just a moment. So with that playlist, it'll just start playing. When it finishes this song, it'll go to the next one, the next one, the next one. To be goofy, we could actually put step pads. Step on this pad and it plays the previous song. Step on this one, it plays the next song. So with that, media player does not actually have in there. Just see something here. So we didn't need that one right there. That's actually just going to allow it to actually play. It's showing the attenuation there, but I need to fix that. Let's exit, play and pause. You've got a bunch of different controls that you actually can run off of the media player itself. So if you run from that, you got play, pause, open URL, so you can actually download the actual song. Let's go to the top of this list here. For a media player here, once you've actually got this variable set up, you can actually come in here, can pause, can play URL, and all that kind of stuff. Close. You can pause, get the play rate, time. Yeah, there's so many different things you can actually pull up from that actual variable. While I'm actually doing this video right now, I actually have the new 3D printer is printing. It showed up a day early, and this is actually the first thing I've started printing all day, because I have been in bed all day. Play, previous, reopen, rewind. So you could trigger it to reopen or rewind whenever you step on a certain section or whatever, however you want to trigger it. Set desired player name. Okay, that's interesting. But you got the ability to do shuffle. You got all kind of different things you can do with it once you've got it there. Just not sure why it is not actually using my attenuation. So let's actually go back into my attenuation, and with this 400 and 3600, let's do it to 800 for the fall off distance. Just make it smaller, see if that affects anything. No. Let's see here. Stereo system. Begin play, open playlist. Let's actually delete that and see what happens. So we just run this only, and it's playing. And I think that's what's... Nope. Actually is not then doing it. You would think they would actually be able to put in here better control of the attenuation. Alright, see in here, radio playlist. That's the actual playlist of the songs we created. Shuffle, loop. No. You would think that it would have more control. They've changed a few things, and every time they do a new update on freaking Unreal Engine 4, they change the way the audio gets processed. And, you know, being that it's actually the media player here, and it's actually the music player, it's pulling up everything correctly. It's not actually cooperating and letting me use the attenuation for it. But we do have our playlist. We have open playlist. If we were to break that, just opening the playlist just starts playing it. So we don't actually need the play in here. And there is nothing for attenuation. I was spelling it correctly. Yeah, see, that's the downside there, doing it this way. With the media sound, what happens if we actually just go in here and instead of doing this, instead of opening the playlist, media player, break that, just pull it out of the way. And then from here, if we just ran play only, it's not going to actually do it. Set native volume is not what I want. I want the attenuation for it. You know, this was a lot easier in the previous version because I had everything set up correctly to where, you know, you pop all this down and it just used your sound attenuation. Let me look back at that other example that I've got here. And all I had in that one was the... See, there was nothing off of Event Begin Play. It was just the media sound component and that. And if you look in the viewport, there is no model whatsoever. It's got the attenuations, and that's it. So if we look at the way this one is, fit graph, nothing. All right, so look at the right project here. So looking at this playlist here, when we open it, that's doing its thing. Let me actually check the other map on here. Alright, so this one right here, we hit play. We have the radio across over there. Why are you compiling shaders? Why did they change things around on me here? This is a project that I've had up and running, and it works just fine. And now it is not working at all. Yeah, that's fine. That is the same thing we did on the other one, without pulling the actual other variable in there. Oh, welcome to Unreal Engine 4. But yeah, that was actually working with no problems whatsoever. So, explain to me why that's no longer working. Yeah, see, that's actually the video that I actually put in there. But I don't like copyright strikes. Doesn't make a bit of sense. Love how this crap just decides to work and then quit working. Even though this is 420 that I have open right now, this has worked every time, and then now it's just suddenly is not working. All right, so yeah, I've got a few things in here. Dances and chair shit and shooting and music menu. Just creating the widget. It's a 3 key. All right, so play music. And the attenuation is working.
Remember days you're home, walk the streets, you the man. Did you know?
Alright, so now if I hit 3, I can play the next song. I can pause it, play, walk away. Yeah, so there's that. So, yeah, with that, all it's doing is controlling that widget with the number 3 key. The actual widget itself, unclicked media player play. And the media player here does not have anything else to it, just that. It is telling it to open the playlist, and it's telling it to play next or previous, play and pause, and that's just exiting. Doing the same exact thing that I did on this. This just had that on there. So, let's go ahead and, with this, let's go ahead and clear this just for now. And let's remove the media player from there. This is all that was put in there into that other radio. It was the widget that actually caused it to start playing. So let's actually... Now, we want the event begin play to trigger this. And no, not open level. We wanted the we're gonna have to go back to doing exactly what we did before with that media player, and that is going to be our music player. But just by having that alone is not going to do it. We need to go ahead and tell it to start playing. So we'll drag that back in here and open playlist. Lovely. I want to find out why this is 423. To find out why the attenuation settings are not being taken into account. Like I said, they change it in every freaking version that they come out with. Seems like they're screwing with the audio every time, and they changed the way you actually bring up the media playlist for MP3s. Now, if you're doing something like a WAV file, and I'll go ahead and show an example of a WAV file here. Well, actually have some music that are already converted over to WAV files. Alright, so that's city sound. I need to put that in the project anyway. Audio. Let's go ahead and create a new folder called Wave. And yes, that is already a WAV file. Sorry, I'm looking at my file browser and just dragging sounds in. So all I'm doing is just File Explorer. You find one you want, you just drag it across, and it'll automatically copy it in there for you. Let's see here. All right, so that one's fine. But the difference is a 4 or 5 megabyte MP3. Use the selected sound wave, city sounds, and content browser as a template. No, just shut up. Just import my damn file. Alright, so we have them. We have sound files. Let's go ahead and save all. And we'll take that out so we know that radio is no longer playing. And we'll do a separate gadget here. And gadget, blueprint, actor, radio underscore BP. And this can be done for any wave file, whether you want to trigger it to be like you've stepped on a landmine and it plays a particle effect and, you know, plays a sound file and does other stuff. But the whole point is you could add in an audio component here. Sound would be Sunrise LA, attenuation setting, is use our radio, compile and save. May have to change that attenuation setting a little bit more too. That could be what it is the outer circle is kind of large there, but we'll look at it again. Yeah, see, that's covering most of the map there. So let me actually go back to my attenuation and shrink it down a little bit. Click on that. Let's put it back at 0. Why is the outer still that large, though? .3D stereo spread, panning. Let's bring this down to 200 and 400. Yeah, see, that's totally not even using my friggin' attenuation. So, you go away. And we are working on the radio. So, we've got the sound attenuation here. And we'll save that. Audio sound component is just that. Audio. Playing that particular song. It's not using the playlist or anything else. It's just using that wave file. Now, if you just place that in the map, now go to the right folder, dummy, and we'll zero it out. You can see the sound attenuation radius. You shouldn't hear it at all until you get right up to it. So, what you can also do here is delete that, and this is what I actually like to do, is play sound at location and attenuation setting, radio ATT, concurrency, we don't have one set. We don't have any other multipliers or other stuff to go along with that. Let's see here. Sound is going to be Sunrise. So we need a location for it to be at, even though we're already at 000 location. really is not much other way to doing it. Get world location. You could have added a scene component or whatever else, just so that no matter where you put it, it's going to work off of this location instead of just 000 location. Why in the hell is it not playing? Play sound. And that is what we're working on. You ever have one of them days where nothing just wants to work correctly? Shit that always works no longer works? Play sound and location. Event begin play. Yeah. Why the hell is that not showing me the sound attenuation radius? Alright, so I'm just a little bit on the pissed off side here. Let's actually add in a scene component. Oh, get world location. And play sound at location. Plug in the location. Plug in the audio component, which is not that. You suck. We know the damn sound works. Event begin play. Oh, that should not matter. That should not need to be there. This is just a direct sound call. Play the sound at this location on begin play. Don't ask me. The same thing over and over and over again. It did not work, and now it suddenly decides it's going to work. Get away from it, and attenuation works. Now I come back to it, and why is it no longer working? 13 actors. 24 actors. Yeah. It's not the attenuation. It's not the blueprint. The blueprint is why are you working now? They walk away. It should go away. I come back. It should be still playing. And you guys wonder why I quit doing so many of these videos. 'Cause every time they upgrade something, it ruins it. Your guess is good as mine. But yeah, that's everything is there for it to work correctly, and it's just not working correctly. I will look in to see what the hell is different, because this worked well in 420 and other versions, and suddenly it's just going to be a completely different system again. Since I've started doing this over the last couple of years, the audio components and audio stuff have changed multiple times. And every version just comes up totally different. So really quickly about this particular project. Go to a regular map. As I'm getting time to work on stuff, and like I said, I've been, I get the problems where I get sick and can't do anything for a couple days. Lucky to get out of bed for a couple days. The point is to, and I won't be using these demonstration maps, I'll actually start working on maps later on, but utilizing all these different asset packs and all the frickin' different animations, and just to show on the animations that I've got so far, on the generic animation pack that's in here now, that's 69 different animations in this one. The pedestrian animation pack, and these are already targeted for the Cindy characters, and yeah, so they're already set up to work with them. 216 here, plus these 6, plus I've also got the animation starter pack that I haven't finished yet, but I will convert all of these over to work as well, and we'll set up a basic combat system in here with the animations and so forth later on. I'm not worried about combat right now. More interested in working on other things. And it was city demo. So the plan is to create, this is the stream party, and the whole point is to create a simple multiplayer environment where people can just gather and goof off, do weird shit at first. Watching your favorite streamer on Twitch or Twatch or whatever, on the YouTubes, and yep, drunk drivers, they suck. But yeah, something to do, and I still got to fix that collision issue. I know, Cindy, item with collision issues. I know it's silly to think, but whatever. The whole point will be to have this place where people can come during the stream, or the streamer themselves can be hosting a session and recording and having everybody running around and doing goofy shit. Eventually we'll start adding in other things like do a mass spawn thing. That's something I haven't looked at before, is doing the admin control panel and setting up to where you hit a key and it brings up a menu, and you can, if you're the admin or whatever, you can summon everybody and they will be positioned nearby, or activate a game mode and suddenly everybody has snowballs and they're throwing snowballs at each other, or playing the game of tag, or think of Gmod and all the associated games and stuff like that, prop hunts and things of that nature, creating similar type fun things to do for people during a live stream. Yeah, get in there and they can play with their, you know, 25 people. You set up how I'll change the simple multiplayer Steam template and have it to where there's a max limit, or the host can create a max limit of players in the host information. So whenever you're actually in the main menu and you click on multiplayer host and you're setting up your host information, the let's actually go back to the main menu. So we'll take a look at like what I'm talking about here. You just did this. When you hit multiplayer and host, instead of just having an area to put in the name of the server, create a map selection so that the host can select which map they want to play on, and then also be able to put in other buttons and features such as max number of players. And that's something that you guys get you to kind of jump in and give me an idea of what type of interface for the simple multiplayer Steam template. So if I come in here, widget, doesn't matter, I'm going to keep this one. When creating the widget, there's all kind of different things you can do in here for setting it up. You can have simple buttons where you click the button and yes or no. Like, I know people keep asking about LAN feature, and it wouldn't take much for me to change that to LAN, but I just haven't done it to where it'll work either way with a toggle. Checkbox. You can put in a checkbox, and with the checkbox here, you have tooltip text. Whenever they mouse over it, it'll say something. There are some other things you can do with it in the styling. You can change the default sizing of it. It's a pain in the butt if you forget to do that and you have to come back and change it on all of this, because you have the unchecked image size and so forth. But I have gone through and done it as a checkbox. What you end up having to do is whenever the player puts a check in this box, it has to verify that there is nothing else in that listing of it and tell it to uncheck the other ones whenever you put a check here. So that's doable. Let's see, what else can we do for activation wise? Button, checkbox, slider. You know, you can put in the slider and have it to where in each of the positions of the slider it displays a certain thing, like for your character creation, or in this case, map creation, or what have you. Different boxes to put down so that you have combo box, spin box, where you can actually just use your mouse to go up and down. That's a good way of doing it as well for creating a map list, and whatever you select then becomes is written to a variable. And I guess what we can do is do another video specifically on setting up that, like for a map list or things of that nature for number of players. List. No, we're not doing it in the list right now, but like combo box is where you can click on it, it opens up and it drops down. So like that, you click on it and then you have a number of options inside there. We've got content padding, and like I said, what I can do here is add a number of things to that as we go and kind of explain each one. But I think that would be something nice to add to the the simple multiplayer Steam template, and that would be to, I don't know why I'm worrying about compiling and saving. I didn't change anything for the main menu, because one of the things in here is using advanced sessions, and with the you got a number of public connections and private connections. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but you can, right now it's defaulting to 100. You can actually set this as a variable, and that variable can be controlled by one of those things over here, and then it would get that information whenever it's creating it. Hey, sorry, I don't want to show too much of this one because that's my work. I did it. But yeah, look into doing that. The player info, whenever they actually are creating it, that's for the upper right hand corner. It just shows if you're not connected to Steam, it'll say go connect to Steam dummy, or it also shows your avatar. If it doesn't, it just shows blank information. But I will look into doing the upgrade on that to set the max number of players and a map selection. So the host can actually pick which map, because like on this particular project right here, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 different maps or whatever. And it'll be nice to be able to have that ability for the host to be able to select it. Like I said, I'm not going to use the default maps. I'm going to actually create some sample maps just to put in there for now as placeholders, so that it's my own content and not using the demo maps like I usually do for like the try before you buy stuff. This is actually my project, so I'll spend some time working on some temporary maps and so forth, just so that at first you know that they're real working maps. Crap like that. Alright, I'm going to get out of here. We're close to the 1 hour mark. I'll actually do another video. Since this video was kind of shit, I'm just going to delete this whole fucking video. How about that? Because somehow or another it decided to change the scene there. Yep, I'm just going to do that.